Good day, good love, and great light. Illuminators and way showers, thanks for hanging out with us once again. I'm Wendy. There's Dave back there hanging out. We're up in my Rose All Things Pink studio here, and I just came up here a couple of minutes ago just to I don't know. I came up here for something, and I don't know. I think I came up here to meditate. Actually, was the whole point of it. And of course, meditation comes in all forms. And I was drawing, and the funny thing is as we're drawn to as we're drawn as we're drawn to do things that um, are spontaneous. I wasn't planning on drawing. I just came up here and I was going to sit down and meditate, and I thought, well, I'm going to sit down. And then I was working on this drawing, as I do several, and as I'm going through a very old box of like old markers, and some of them are pretty dried up, and as I'm playing with them all, I find this pink one. And when we're in these moments of being in that vibration of creation, and I'm looking at one of these little paintings that I did, and it says, joy is the vibration of creation. And so I'm sitting here kind of looking around my studio, and things that I have here in front of me, that like my 11 cup. I've got an 11 cup here. For those of you who are new to the channel, may not have seen some of these things. I love kind of sharing and showing some of the things that I have around me that literally activate me. And one of them is my 1111 cup. I got that at literally 11, a diner in Chicago called 11, which I'm not really sure if it's still there. But that's easy enough to look up. Whoops. And so I was drawing, and so like I said, I've got this all my good pens and drawing pens and acrylic paint pens are downstairs. And so I was like, well, I'm just kind of looking around going, well, what have we got around me, like right around me. And I like find this old, I mean, these are old. I'm talking old, like probably my children's from when they were in grade school, and they're like in their 40s. So so I'm going through it, as with the ones that are dried up, I throw them away, and I'm just kind of drawing, and I'm working on this. I don't want to say working on it, because it's just a spontaneous kind of drawing. And I don't know, I started drawing it, I don't know, maybe a week or two ago or something. I guess I should really start dating when I started them, so I can kind of get an idea of when I finish them. But I'm hearing this message. If only all of you, if I, if only all of you, and they say, I think, meaning the human collective, if only all of you would just stop giving a shit what other people think about the things that you do. Imagine all of the miracles and the creations that could happen. Because most of the time, when we're like, even me drawing, it's about the relationship with the doing of the drawing, and how the meditation happens, and how the inspirations happen, and the synchronicities then begin to happen all around us. It's like you literally shift into this new reality. You do literally shift into the reality that's vibrationally more congruent with your core vibration. And then the message was clear, like, if all of you would just stop worrying about what other people think. The greatest painters in the world didn't necessarily concern themselves what other people were going to think of that painting. And when we take all of that out of the equation is when our real, true, authentic creativity, creative juices, creative ideas flow. And then, so I'm using these old pens and and I'm just seeing, okay, what can I create with this old stuff? And then, of course, I'm reminded. I say, of course, because to me it's old news, but I remember the quote that Bashar said. You don't need fancy paints and pencils. Just start with a burnt stick. And I've never forgotten that, never, because if you can just express yourself with the simplest of tools. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. And so I've got two pens in my hand. So I'm playing with these markers and going, well, you know what? Even though they're almost dried up, and let's see what kind of shades they make, and are they pretty? And I'm not going to worry about whether or not this is going to hang in a gallery somewhere, or is it going to collect me and fetch me some money, or it's about the relationship with the thing that I'm doing and the information that flows through while I'm doing it. And then and then I start to see these other little synchronicities. So first of all, well, so I'm kind of just playing with this and just looking to see, okay, well, what happens if I have this color and this color? And then I start to hear like literally my like Pleiadian information coming through. How excited they are to be a part of all of this because I'm excited to have them a part of me. And so now I've got my little green pen here, and so I just start drawing. And as I'm looking around and I'm thinking about creativity, just the other day, what were we doing, Dave? What hangout? We were just talking about creativity because I had the spider stone and it's engraved, and I was talking about how I got those stones in the first metaphysical shop I've ever been in, and and then here in front of me, I was reminded, oh, here is my wolf stone, also from the same shop, same day. I chose those 3 stones for whatever reasons at that time in that parallel version of me. And my name is Wendy Wolfe, so I've always truly resonated with that idea of the wolf energy. I've got references of wolf pictures around the room. Some of them are just calendars, and there's a pillow, and other types of things that I've collected over the years that just have that wolf vibration to it. And I was talking about the animal totem stones. And even just today, Dave and I were also, I'm kind of throwing this in, Dave and I today were just watching, I guess you'd call them documentaries about a guy who actually goes and explores these things, that he sees these signs, symbols, he calls them signs and symbols, but from Google Earth, and if it looks interesting to him, he investigates. And anyway, it was a stone symbol, laid out in stones on the top of a mountain. I cannot tell you where right now, but so I was looking and I saw this bracelet that was a gift to me, and the circle of the stones looked very much like this bracelet. And I think this is pink tourmaline. I believe both of these are. I believe these are both pink tourmaline, which I don't have my crystal book right here with me, but and here I'm up in my pink atmosphere. I just love the energy of this room. This is where I do a lot of creating, and and it just so happened that I had the pink pen. So as I look at my wolf stone, I see that right there is the packet that I keep the original totem animal information packs that information, I guess, whatever, papers you want to call it, that I purchased when I got these stones. And these are semi-precious stones with meaning. Totem spirit stones, and that's a trademark, are semi-precious gemstones engraved with symbols, animals, and cultural emblems, which have great spiritual meaning to human culture throughout history. And the ones that I had chosen were, one, the spider, which I showed you guys the other day, and I'll hold this up so you can see it. It's very, very small, the images on here. Okay, so here's the spider, and this is the one where it shows the symbol for creativity. There's the spider. Whoop. Yeah, it's in focus very well, sorry. And oh, the wolf paw. That's another one that I have that is somewhere around here. And the wolf paw represents a symbol of, gosh, I can hardly read it, you guys. Jeez. Divination, I think it says. Let's look. Yeah, I'm going to have to look that up. Like, it is really, and the paper's getting really worn. There it is. Yes, a symbol of divination. Now remember, you guys, these are messages for you too. So as I'm receiving this information and guided to share it with you, there's somebody out there who this information is important to you in some way. So that idea of the symbolism of the creativity of the spider, the wolf, and the wolf paw. And the wolf, this particular one, I believe, is on the other side. Let me take a look. Yeah, these are super tiny, guys. And even with my glasses on, they're pretty small. let's see if it was on this one. It might have been on, the wolf might be on the other one if there's two of them. I just want to make sure I didn't, oh no, here it is, I'm sorry. Wolf, loyalty and success. Yeah, they're so small I can barely see them. There it is. Wolf. I'm looking at some of the other ones too that I have such synchronicities with, but loyalty and success. So it's as if I'm hearing, you know, that you have that your loyalty is your success. Perhaps it's my loyalty that is my success. And then the idea of the wolf paw, the symbol of divination, that we're reminded of us, the divine in all of us when we're connecting to these animal spirits and allowing them to show us the divine within all of us. And then the other one, these are a little bit larger, this other symbol paper. And the spider symbol on here also says creative, and it also represents the pattern of life. And Dave and I actually marvel at some of the spiders around here and how intricate and beautiful their webs are, and how amazing they are, and how they're there and then they're not, and it's just been, and I've done videos about the idea of the symbolism of the spider and the idea of the creativity and weaving that web, and also how it really symbolizes for me the idea of interconnectedness of all things. And I think that also the animals and spirit guides, that is what my channel really has been about all this time. If you're new to the channel, I'll be celebrating 10 years on YouTube, and it's been really about that, is about showing that, or not showing it, but how I express my beliefs that everything is connected, interconnectedness, and the idea of, if you want to take it into the quantum and quantum physics as well, and how do the beings on our planet and the animals and the spirits that we don't see, how are all of these interconnected with our day-to-day lives and who we are, our themes in life? How do we express ourselves? And how do we best express ourselves? Again, what would you do if you didn't give a crap what anybody else thought, or what was going to be the end result of it? What would you do? And that's the vibration that we need to all of us move into. And when we talk about letting go, again, if everything's connected, there's nowhere to anything to let go of. It's the idea of releasing your focus on the thing you don't prefer. You're always, oh, I wish I could trust this, and I do wish I could trust that. Again, you are 100% trusting in something you do not prefer. It's not that we don't trust. It's we're not trusting in the things that we know are true. Ourselves, our creative abilities. What excites us is what we're good at. And what we're good at is joy. And the joy of the vibration of joy is creation. That is the conduit to your higher self. Excitement and imagination is when you're getting these thoughts, of which we are not capable of creating, only receiving and perceiving. When we're receiving it, it's us that we get to say to our higher selves, yes or no. Yes, I like more of that. No, I don't. And if I don't, and it's something that still excites me, why not? What beliefs do I have, and what beliefs do I have that are representing beliefs of 100% trust in something I don't prefer? And these are the teachings that I and Dave alike are excited to express, and how they show up in all these different places, and all of our, what we call our past, and the things that we've collected to share in our energy. And I was just looking to the wolf print: freedom, success, and guidance. We all want the freedom of success and the ability to receive and give guidance based upon that experience, that freedom, that success, and sharing those ideas. And the wolf, there's the fox, the coyote. I'll show you guys these in a minute, all of them, because they are rather small. I was just looking to see if there was any, where Did you want to say something, Dave? I hear you. Wolf. There it is. Loyalty, success, perseverance. The wolf perseveres. It may be the lone wolf again, going out and being the lone wolf, and but yet it always has the best of the pack in its heart, in its intentions. That perseverance that we all feel that we need. The only perseverance we need is to persevere on the idea that you have what everything you need to do that thing, and it's just the beliefs and that are standing in our way. And how do these animal spirits and totems and celestial bodies and astrology and symbols and symbolism, how does all that come into play with all of us? Because we're making it all up. We're creating it as breadcrumbs for ourselves to share with each other. Here, I'll show this in case you guys want to stop the video.
I was thinking about the show that we watched that you just spoke about, and how the guy found petroglyphs.
Petroglyphs, thank you. I couldn't think of the word.
You know, there were carvings in the rock that had some people and some animals and some other kind of things.
It was awesome.
But
we can find the link.
So yeah, of course it takes some effort to carve these drawings in the stone. But one very interesting thing was there were handprints that were
it was amazing.
Deeply and smoothly put into the rock. But not only were there handprints, but there were other prints that looked like they might have been representative of some of the animals themselves. And how even then, which, you know, could be 10,000 or more years ago, when the indigenous were making these kinds of markings on the land, that they would include things like paw prints.
And yeah, human paw prints, human prints, images of animals, images of the human, and with the animal. And oh, I wish I could remember. You guys already forgotten the name of the civilization. I'll find it so I can show to. I'll just put the link in there so you guys can see it if you're interested in looking at it. But it really, these things activate me when these people go on these trips and they go on these adventures, and they're finding things on the planet that maybe we haven't seen for, you know, who knows, hundreds of thousands of years perhaps, or longer. I begin to connect with that idea that we all just don't know what our history is. We don't know our stellar history. We don't know of the DNA that we're interconnected with yet. We just don't know our whole story. And I'm excited to find out. And I'm always excited to find out for myself, how do all of these things come into because I'm creating them. Oh, and I was reminded, Organite, right, Dave? Yes. I was reminded, I found this Organite heart that I had collected over the years. Honestly, I'm already forgotten where I got it, when I got it, and if I believe this one I got for myself, I think. So I'm reminded of something about the alchemy of Organite. I don't know why, but there was that idea of, well, maybe the idea of the alchemy of all of this, of we have only begun to tap into the alchemy of when we're, say, you know, putting this energy together and this energy together, but we're remembering how we already knew have this ancient information within us, because we're particles of all that is, and everything is connected, absolutely everything.
And we say that we don't know what our star heritage is yet, but actually this is information that we used to know in humanity that was either forgotten about, or at some point intentionally held back from the common knowledge. But thousands of years ago, it was common knowledge, just like it is still in some of the indigenous tribes, that we came from the stars and that we evolved in certain ways. And it was known and it was celebrated. And a lot of those things were handed down verbally by mouth, through songs and celebrations. And that's why a lot of times we just recently sort of did some light language singing with drums. But these are the ways that this historical information was passed along. And those kinds of things, for a long time, have sort of been taken out of our culture.
Well, Dave, that reminds me, just when you were saying that, about taken out of our culture, because something when we were watching that spoke to me about, and I wrestle sometimes, and I say wrestle because it's what it feels like to me. I'm having the experience of wrestling with the idea of everything is now, everything is happening now, parallel realities and all that, and understanding that, yet feeling this pull to want to record things. Because here we are in this digital age, we've got digital technology, but as we know, a lot of the stuff we created in our technology, even 20 years, 30 years ago, some of us don't even have the devices to even read anymore. So can imagine, even though we're like, oh, well, it's out there in the ethers and it's technology and it's this and it's that, and but we don't really know in a whatever 100,000 years, and I'm using time again because that's how we understand our reality. But what if we aren't leaving this ascension experience? What if we're not telling anybody about our experiences, and how can we do that more fully in a variety of ways aside from just this way, digital technology? And that's what they're showing me right now. And with the etchings, in the stone, etchings in the stone. If you didn't give a crap what somebody else thought, what would you do? What would you create? What would you make that didn't exist before? And we're talking about alchemy again. You and me and you, me and the piece of paper, me and this marker, alchemized this. You alchemize everything you do. You're magic. We're magic. This was a blank piece of paper, and then it wasn't. And so alchemizing that, what would you create? How would you record your experience here in a different way? Maybe it's just talking to your children. Maybe it's talking to your grandchildren. Dave and I are admirers and viewers of the Navajo teachings. Because we realize, and we see it in Wally's eyes, that he realizes that it's going to be gone if he doesn't tell anybody. It's like the generation has come where in his reality, the Navajo Nation, their traditions, their stories, their understandings, they're gone. A lot of them, he said, are already gone. They're already gone. And with this next generation, he feels they're just going to be gone. And I see the passion in his eyes, the even the hurt and the gratitude and the emotion and the memories for him of what he's receiving and sharing, and how poignant and informative and touching it is to me and Dave. And all of these things just got me going about, I know physical reality isn't real, but it's as real. The physical reality is as real as anything else. And I feel like, okay, if physical reality is about having a physical experience and sharing that physical experience, regardless of what we realize on a spiritual level, we're again still, though, being guided to, grab the burnt stick, and we're not saying mar the earth in a way that will harm her or you or destroy it, or I'm of that idea, just like that gentleman, you leave it as better than when you came. You don't touch anything, you don't take anything, you just absorb it and you leave it for the next person and the next generation and the next and now I'm even thinking in the idea of ages. We're talking about the new age, the age of Aquarius, 26,000 years. It's just, I laugh because it's like I hear them like, okay, 26,000 years is just boop, a blink of the eye. because we don't experience time, and we don't experience time like they do. We're creating time as we create time to exist. And again, existence isn't dependent on time. Our time. It's we're creating time within existence. It does not. Existence doesn't require time to exist. So, so anyway, I'm loving the synchronicities here. I just was guided to share once again, impromptu as always. These things come, and to just les minhas satokvesha ma'alaki izmata ele ama. If you're not loving yourself enough to create the things that you love, even just for the only and only only and only for the experience of the relationship of doing the thing while you're doing it, and realizing that the here and now is all that is, and it doesn't matter what happens to this drawing, a minute or hour or millennia from now, but I did it, I created it, and again, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad or what. There is no good or bad. It's like saying, okay, and people might argue about this. Oh, a diamond is perfect or it's not perfect. Well, you know what? They're all perfect. Everything's perfect in its own imperfection. We love the stone because we love the stone. So I know there's a lot of metaphors going on here, and I it's because I tend to feel limited in my own vocabulary about the things that I feel and understand and want to share, and oftentimes that's why light language comes through, because it sort of says what I can't, I guess, in words, and I feel like everything that we do is our own language of light. Everything that we create, whether it's the chicken soup that I'm making, or whether it's the meatloaf I made the other night, or whether it's the herbs that I grow in the garden to put in there, or whether it's I don't know, petting our dog in the morning, or the coffee. Oh my God, the coffee that we look forward to every single day. It just absolutely stimulates funny, that understanding of we came here for the process. We came here just for the fun of it. And yeah, and the best part about it is I like to know that since everything is right now, that all those amazing artists, no matter what their no matter what their experience was in that particular reality of theirs, that it warms me to know that they have connections to this now, and be looking at us going, holy crap, look at what that painting fetched in their fake coin system. So it also becomes a little bit silly too when you let it boil all down to just about the money. So, anything you would like to add to that, Dave? Yeah, cosa pasiana itile spasoko. He's silent.
Enjoy the now moment, because that's all you got.
And that's why I'm here doing this. So, bye everybody. And remember, illuminating is about shining your light and allowing others to see that light, and show them that they can shine that light too. And by doing that and illuminating another's light within them, we show each of us the way to ourselves. Love you guys.